Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey and welcome to my Hiroshima diary. Today we're going to introduce a new segment called Relaxing at Home, and in this one I'm going to introduce my Go equipment. I do have a live stream on Twitch in which I play Go with members of the Hiroshima Gamers Go Club. And I have a lot of Go equipment because I've been collecting it for more than 30 years. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, this is my best or favorite floor goban, being used as a short shelf in the studio. As you can see, it's quite thick, has a nice color. It has a little bit of a bow here for some reason. Not sure why it would, but it does. I'm not going to pull it out and show you all the way around it, but it's got some stain on it. But in pretty good shape. And then for my number 2 board, also being used as a short table here in my studio. My school work is over here. That's one class, that's a second class, and this is my 3rd class. And then this one, if you can see, it's a little more beat up. It's scratched up a little bit more than the other one. The side's about the same. There's some discoloration here and there in the grain. Yeah, this one, sorry about the lighting. This one did have a very strange discoloration here at the bottom, but I put some stain on it and it's a little closer to the original. But that's my number 2 board. Nice feet. Feet are pretty standard, most of these. The first 2 floor gobans I showed you, I believe I actually got them at the same recycle shop that is now gone out of business a long time ago. The first board I got for around $50. That was maybe 20 years ago. And the second one I got maybe 15, 16 years ago was $100. Now, the one over here that I'll show you next is one I bought fairly recently. That was maybe 2 years ago at a different shop. And I bought it primarily for the Go Stones. It came as a set, Go Stones and bowls. And the board, I think it was about $120 for all 3. I needed a set of stones and bowls to take down to the Tuesday night board game club at Southern Cross Bar. Of the 3 floor gobans that I have, one I have out here on the porch. It's got protective tablecloth there folded up, and it's got some plastic to keep the weather off. It is raining today. Rain doesn't usually reach this far back, so it's pretty safe, but I slipped that over into this corner and then put a chair on top of it so that I can sit and look up over the railing here when I want to relax on the porch. A little sacrilegious, perhaps, but what can I say? Everything has to have a purpose. And then over here, one of my folding gobans that I don't use. Used it when I was down at the Tuesday night Go Club at Southern Cross, but I'm using it to make a little wider shelf down here. And then if you watch my Go streams on Twitch or the video on YouTube, this is my board I use for that. It's a little thicker than the one I use for a shelf. And this one I did stain the top to make it darker, but it was sort of strange, so then I used some a scrub brush, scrub sponge, to take that down a little bit and rough it up a little bit. So it's got some nice discoloration around here that I like. Now, the reason why this board over here and the other one that looks very much like it are my two favorites, and this one over here is out on the balcony and is the one I would easily sell off for a few thousand yen, is because I prefer beat up to clean. I like stuff with character more than stuff that looks shiny and new. Here underneath, I have a 13 by 13 backed by a 9 by 9 board that I don't use very often, but I can if I want to, and it's just there out of the way. And then here behind my green screen on my board game shelf, I have a magnetic, little beat up. Had this, how long? I've had that 30 years, maybe. So magnetic board. Used to use it quite a bit up in Sapporo with my friend. Don't use it very often because it's magnetic, small. But if I were to go out someplace, like Ohanami with a Go player, I could take this with me. Now let's take a closer look at my stones and bowls. This is my favorite set of Go bowls. I bought them about 30 some years ago in Sapporo. I got them at a discount recycle shop. They were new in box, and they were quite expensive, even though they were at a discount shop. They were, I think, about $120 or $150. Now, inside I have my favorite set of stones. These are Tsuki grade or moon grade natural kai and slate stones. They are size 36. Tsuki is the second highest level of designation for Go stones. These, of course, were made from Mexican clamshells, because Japanese harvested clamshells of sufficient size are in the tens of thousands of dollars. So cannot afford those. When I bought these, I got them at a really nice discount shop, or not a discount shop, it was a distributor next to Hokkaido University, where I was practicing kendo. And I initially bought a smaller set of Suki stones, but after about a year, I decided they were too small, so I got this thicker set. The smaller set are being stored at my son's place, along with lots of other Go equipment, including my favorite floor Goban is there. These I got for about $280. So that was a very good price at the time. They're more expensive now. These are the ones I use most of the time, either when playing with someone in a live or playing online on my stream. I really love those bowls because they have a nice dull finish. Now, these bowls I bought separately by themselves. I like the shape. They are a little bit too glossy for my personal taste, but I needed a nice set, and these were at a recycle shop. So these are not new in box, but they were in a beat up old box, and I believe they were something like $10, less than $20 at least, maybe about $10. Now, the other one, the lid is a little bit different, but that's okay. And these contain my easy on the eye green stones, which of course don't work when you're using a green screen, but this camera is not set up for green screen. They're a nice color. I bought them specifically to use as a playing two people at once set down at the Tuesday night Go Nights at board game night at Southern Cross, so I could play two people at the same time without getting the stones mixed up. Everybody hates these stones. I mean, I kind of hate these stones, but not really. They're okay. However, they're not my preferred stones to play with. Unfortunately, they were very expensive. They're around $100 on Amazon. But as a set in these bowls, I got the bowls cheap, so they balance out. And here we go with a nice old, fairly beat up, these are really dusty, sorry, set of bowls. I'm not sure what these are. Mulberry? I don't know. I have a very bad memory. But these are sort of standard Go bowls, entry-level Go bowls. I'm not sure, but I think I may have gotten these bowls with my third favorite, which means I don't like it that much, very clean looking floor Goban. So I think I bought them mostly for these bowls. And in this, I have just regular everyday glass stones. So that I bought for use at Southern Cross. Now, the next set, I think these bowls cost me like $5. They have a very thick what's the word? Not paint, but like a paint. Not a glaze, because they're not pottery. But I like black as a bowl. You can see that the quality is not very good. The lids don't fit. They can actually get really tight. However, I think these were like $5. They're really cheap. Bought them separately at the same recycle shop. I bought a lot of stuff at one recycle shop because every place else has gone out of business. And I got these 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Now, inside, I have a very unique set of real shell stones. Slate are really nice. These are made from a very thin shell, such that the surface, that brownish gray protective layer shows through after the polish. So this is not the grain of the shell. This is the outer part of the shell. So these I got on Amazon. I think they were fairly expensive. I think they're around $60 or $70 for the set. Got them a couple of years ago, and they're okay. Like I said, I like stuff that are beat up. So I would like these more if they didn't have such a high polish on them. They're very shiny. So maybe in another, I should use them more so that acid and oil in your fingers would break down the polish on the surface. But maybe in 20 years, if I live that long, they will be a nice set. I have been looking for the past 20 years for a good set of antique stones, something maybe 60 years or more old. Shell and slate, very thin would be okay, and broken would be okay if they had enough. They had a complete or near complete set. I found things that I like, but having like only 2/3 was not quite enough stones to make it worth me buying. Maybe I should have bought the first set I found and then bought the second set I found and then combined them. Maybe that would have worked. But I like the patina on really, really old shell stones. So even if they're broken around the edges because they made they're a thinner grade stone. Of course, they chip along the edge, especially if you do the slam that a lot of Japanese Go players love to do. They would chip. But I think that's out of the question now because discount recycle shops are few and far between, especially ones that carry old Go equipment. Maybe in the future they will come back, but for now they're not. Anyway, those are the stones and bowls that I have here. I do have nice sets stored at my son's place, but can't show you those. If you've watched this video all the way through to the end, thank you very much for that. Hope you enjoyed it. Perhaps in the future we'll have a video on pottery. Anyway, see you in the next one. Thanks.